Sometimes it's a sad thing when our faith, our Christian faith, is reduced to just a set of moral principles, just morality. And of course, when we read gospel reading like this, we realize how mystical our faith is, the mystery of our faith. Even when we say a prayer every day at Mass, by the mystery of this water and wine, may we come to share in the divinity of Christ, who humbled himself to share in our humanity. It's an extraordinary belief. We, as Franciscans, of course, have that extraordinary tradition of wonder, how Francis himself was just struck down at the thought of the Lord, the Most High, coming as a little child, suffering as a man, and then in his risen presence being with us, hidden under a piece of bread. But of course, it's about us too. It's always about us. It's about us too in the sense that we share in the divinity of Christ. And I just thought I'd share two quotes with you this morning. Just finish with these. Because there's a wonder in the encounter of each one of us. And C.S. Lewis says it. He says, it's a serious thing to live in a society of possible gods and goddesses. To remember that the dullest and most uninteresting person you talk to may one day be a creature which, if you saw it now, you would be strongly tempted to worship. There are no ordinary people. You have never talked to a mere mortal. Nations, cultures, arts, civilizations, these are mortal. But it is immortals whom we joke with, work with, marry, snub, and exploit. Immortal horrors or everlasting splendors. This does not mean that we are to be perpetually solemn. We must play, but our merriment must be that of that kind which exists between people who have, from the outset, taken each other seriously. And our love must be a real and costly love. And then, of course, you're familiar with Thomas Merton's inspiration, his insight at the corner of 4th and Walnut in Louisville. And again, we're invited to that insight ourselves every day, even at the most dull and uninteresting parts of our chapter, that we are surrounded by immortals. Merton says, in Louisville, at the corner of 4th and Walnut, in the centre of the shopping district, I was suddenly overwhelmed with the realization that I loved these people, that they were mine and I theirs, that we could not be alien to each other, even though we were total strangers. It was like waking from a dream of separateness. I have the immense joy of being human, a member of a race in which God himself became incarnate. As if the sorrows and stupidities of the human condition could overwhelm me, now I know who we really are. And if only everybody could realize this. But it cannot be explained. There's no way of telling people that they are all walking around shining like the sun.